welcome to our episode of Getting to the Pros, where we get a sneak peek into what different professionals do in their jobs.
I have been waiting more than 30 years to say this. Dad, I always told you I would come back and get my degree. I want to thank Harvard for this honor. I will be changing my job next year, and it will be nice to finally have a college degree on my resume. Bill Gates to Harvard in 2007.
And hello, sir. How are you today?
How are you?
Hello.
And what is your name?
Hey, how are you? My name is Hani Girgis. Hani with an I, Girgis with a G-U-I.
And where are you from?
I am from Raleigh, North Carolina. Beautiful Atlantic coast.
Nice.
Yes.
All right, and Mr. Hani, what do you do?
I am a project management professional. I had a business degree background, so moving and evolving a little bit into the project management field.
And how did you choose this career?
Well, when I was picking my major in college, I didn't really want to deal with the whole doctor of pharmacy, 30 years of school thing. So I was looking into, my mom actually planted the seed about, what do you think about business management? It's an option. I thought it was a cool idea, and I was like, that sounds great, so let me look into it. And then as you start taking the courses, you learn the things about how to deal with people, how to work in companies, all the different aspects of companies, so I really like that stuff. And when I came out of college, pretty much when you have a business management degree, they say you have to be a salesperson, you got to get into sales, but that wasn't something I'm necessarily comfortable with and reaching out to people. But thank God he showed me an opportunity of getting into project management where I get to work with people and make a positive difference.
Nice. So what challenges did you face during your college time, or the 4.5 years you were in college?
There was a lot of different challenges actually when I got into college. So I was actually one of those who left the house to start my college career. So it was it's a different story because you lose the support and the net of your parents, and you have to start taking a lot more responsibility and initiative in your life. So a lot of my challenges were actually becoming that person that I want to be, and what do I see my priorities rather than what my parents are going to be forcing me to do. So outside of school, what do you find that's important, and how do you hold on to those things and just make them happen? Like, for instance, your spiritual life, your personal life, your work life, your school life, you have to own that stuff from every single aspect. So I think that understanding what your priorities are from high school to college, that was my biggest challenge, but it turned into the most beneficial growth.
So you're carrying on a role of being independent, but also trying to be responsible at the same time, because there's no one that's telling you, do this, Hani, you have to do this, Hani, you have to do this. You're your own person.
Exactly.
You're making your own judgments.
Yes, exactly. So no one's going to tell you have to study these amount of hours before you go anywhere, or that you have to go to church, or any of that stuff. That's something you have to take that ownership on, and makes you become stronger, builds you.
Absolutely.
So fast forwarding a little bit to now, what's your schedule like on a daily basis?
My schedule is actually, it's a typical 9 to 5 because I rely heavily on when everybody's going to be there at the same time. So it's a 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. Sometimes you work weekends to get things done, like whenever you're having a project finish up and things like that. But other than that, it's a 9 to 5. Very thankfully, in the business world, we have some benefits outside of pharmacists, doctors, and everything, where we get to work remote. So thank God I get to work from home once or twice a week, and
that's awesome.
Those hours are great. I'll work 10 hours from home. I don't mind.
So there's no weekends.
There's no weekends typically, but sometimes I'll probably say one weekend out of quarter I have to work.
Okay, so aside from your amazing schedule,
yes,
what do you love most about your job?
I think the fact that I get to work with people, and our goal is to become a successful team rather than a successful individual, is what I enjoy, because then it helps me work with others and have kind of that team fellowship, rather than I only need to focus on myself and my selfishness and my growth. So having that aspect is it's a fulfilling thing to know that other people are succeeding. And when they do, you succeed as well. So.
So in contrast, what do you find as the most challenging thing about your job?
So as it's the most beneficial thing, it's kind of a double-edged sword, where it's also challenging, where if they're not motivated to do the work, So the thing about a project manager is you don't own them, and you're literally their manager. You're just supporting, you're owning the work, but they come to support you. So you can't tell them what to do. I don't have that authority. So if someone is really not motivated or doesn't care to do what what the team needs, and they can just be completely slack, that's where it becomes a big challenge on my part to try to influence them to do the right thing.
So did you wake up one day, or any time, do you wake up with regrets or saying, if I didn't do what I do now, I would have been, fill in the blank?
Honestly, I'm actually very thankful, because this is like a great chosen path that I really wanted to do. I really wanted to do something with the business mindset and the business aspect of things, like communication, managing, helping people out, all that other stuff, and basically working to build something. So project management allowed me to do that. So it's actually the one thing that I didn't even think about from the beginning, and I'm very thankful for being able to do it. Not at all. Not at all.
It's like you would never want to go back and change anything.
No, sir.
That's
no, ma'am.
Awesome.
God hooked it up. God hooked it up. I'm very thankful.
Now, so would you encourage others to pursue project management? And if you do, what advice would you give them?
Yes. All right. So all those lovely business management people who want to do something with their lives in the business world outside of sales, I highly recommend being a project manager. So this is a field where you get to do a lot of really great things and work on a lot of cool stuff. You're not doing the same thing all the time. So you're gonna have like a mix of like 4 or 5 different projects, and then they switch every certain amount of time. So it never gets dull. So I highly recommend it. Get internships. There's a lot of paid and unpaid. The unpaid ones usually add more value. Get those internships and resume experience, because then it will help you get the job that you need to get entry level into project management. Plus, if you get your project management certification, the letters are PMP. I'm leaving it at that.
So success means different things to different people. What would you say success means to you?
Success to me is not just one aspect of life, but life in general. So to me, being a successful person is being able to have good priorities throughout your life, being able to manage your spiritual life as needed, your personal life, your work life, and being able to do those in the correct order. I don't think success is only from a professional standpoint. I feel that success is an all-around encompassing thing. So that's why, for instance, when you hear a lot of the traditional parents who say, I've actually had people go, you're not a doctor, pharmacist, or lawyer, or engineer? Like, you want that kind of, thing to show in this new world, in this new environment. So to me, success is what you do with your entire life and all the different aspects, and being able to glorify God with each one of those traits.
We hope that our advice from our very own Hani Girgis benefited you. And until next time, God bless.